We know that our body is capable of protecting itself from pathogens, and by pathogens I mean all kind of viruses, bacteria, parasites, and a lot more. And that is what we call immune system. When we think about immune system, it's not all about white blood cells or leukocytes. We still have some other kinds of defense that we possess, and that's what we're going to talk about today in this video. So immune system is divided into two main systems, innate immune system and adaptive immune system. The biggest difference between those two systems is we possess innate immune system since we were born, and we acquire adaptive immune system as we grow and get exposed to more pathogens. Another differences are innate immune system is non-specific, meaning that it can target all kinds of pathogens. Therefore, it will respond faster, but it won't be very effective. As for adaptive immune system, it can target one specific bacteria or virus, so it will be very effective. It might be slow for the first time, but as we get exposed to the same pathogen, it will get faster. Innate immune system is further divided into two parts. The first part, which is our first line of defense, is our physical barrier. The most outer part of our physical barrier is our skin. If they manage to find holes for them to enter, like nose and mouth, we still have some protections. For example, in our nose, we have nose hair and mucus that can trap bacteria and viruses. In our trachea, we also have mucous membrane and cilia. They will move the trapped pathogens back to our nose. Our stomach also contains acid that will kill pathogens coming into our digestive tract. If all those physical barriers fail, our innate immune system's second part will come into action. In this part, there are about 8 leukocytes that will be involved. The first two leukocytes are called mast cell and basophil. When they detect an infection, they will release histamine and heparin that will cause inflammation and also attract phagocytes and lymphocytes. Next is phagocytes. We have 4 of them: neutrophil, monocyte, macrophage, and dendritic cell. Monocyte is located in our blood vessel. When they reach an infectious site, they will move into the tissue and change either into macrophage or dendritic cell and start eating pathogens. Neutrophil is also located in our bloodstream. It is one of the first leukocytes that arrive at the infectious site and start engulfing pathogens. But neutrophils can only consume only a few pathogens, and it will turn into pus. The last two leukocytes are eosinophil and natural killer cell. Although eosinophils can perform phagocytosis, it is considered as a relatively weaker phagocytes. So its main role is to kill parasites that are too big to be phagocytosis. Unlike the other leukocytes that I mentioned before, natural killer cell is a type of leukocytes that can kill our own cell that has been infected. To be considered as a healthy cell, MHC1 needs to be present on their surface. And that is how a natural killer cell can determine whether a cell is healthy or not. If it finds an abnormal cell, it will release perforin, which create pores on cell membrane, and also granzyme, which leads the cell to undergo apoptosis. Sometimes a pathogen can be very strong that our innate immune system cannot handle them, and that's why we need our adaptive immune system. This system is also divided into two: humoral immune response and cell-mediated immunity. Humoral immune response is responsible for attacking pathogens, while cell-mediated immunity is responsible to eliminate all infected cells. In humoral immune response, there are three leukocytes that are involved: plasma B cell, memory B cell, and also helper T cell. At first, B cell will encounter a pathogen, engulfs it, and it will present the pathogen's antigen on its surface. Later, helper T cell will bind to the antigen and start to release cytokines. Helper T cell can also be activated by other antigen-presenting cells like macrophage and dendritic cell. Then, cytokines will stimulate B cell to start dividing. Most of them will be plasma B cell that will produce antibodies, and some of them will be memory B cell. These antibodies can neutralize a pathogen by binding to its binding site, so it cannot enter a host cell. The second function of those antibodies is called agglutination. One antibody binds to more than one pathogens, so they can't move easily. The last function is called opsonization, which can attract macrophage to engulf the pathogen. As for memory B cell, it can be activated directly if the same pathogen invades our body again. Our last line of defense, which is cell-mediated immunity, it involves cytotoxic T cell, helper T cell, memory T cell, and regulator T cells. As I said before, an activated helper T cell will start releasing cytokines. It will also start dividing itself. Most of them will be another helper T cell, some will be memory T cell, and only a few will be regulator T cells. Cytokines that were released helps to activate nearby helper T cell to start dividing itself and also releasing cytokines. Another function of cytokines is to activate cytotoxic T cell so it can start to hunt. When cytotoxic T cell finds an infected cell, it will release a chemical and leads the cell to undergo apoptosis, just like natural killer cell. Finally, after eliminating all pathogens in our body, our regulatory T cells will secrete inhibitor cytokine, which will inform other leukocytes to stop before they start attacking our healthy cells. Whereas memory T cell will stay in our body for quite some time to prevent the attack of the same pathogen for the second time, just like our memory B cell.
Immune system, which is supposed to protect humans, can attack humans. There are some disorders or diseases in the immune system, such as autoimmune, allergy, and AIDS. Normally, the immune system will react to some substance that are harmful for our bodies, like viruses, bacteria, and toxic substances. But allergy is the immune system response that is too sensitive to a foreign substance that is not a pathogenic but certain antigens. Allergens are one cause of allergies. For many people, allergen will not cause any reaction in their body. But for people that have an allergy to certain allergen, the immune system will secrete a reaction because they consider it as harmful for their bodies. There are a lot of symptoms like sneezing, itchy nose, red, dry, and cracked skin, red, itchy, watery eyes, and many more. The main treatments for allergy are to avoid allergen. If they cannot avoid the allergen, sufferers must consume some medicines such as antihistamines, corticosteroid, deconstant, and inhibitor of leukotriene. AIDS is a virus that weakens or decreases the effectiveness of the immune system. The decreased effectiveness of the immune system to respond can disrupt the work system of the body's defenses. Because of that, other diseases will easily infect people with AIDS. AIDS or acquired immune deficiency syndrome are in fact affected by HIV. HIV will destroy our T cells so it cannot protect our immune system anymore. When our body infected by HIV, it will enter our body and divide itself into many. To protect our body, our immune system will produce a certain white blood cell called CD4 to control the amount of HIV. But CD4 cell is one of the HIV target. So instead of controlling the amount of HIV will infect and destroy the CD4 cell. When our body infected by HIV, our immune system reaction will produce a lot of CD4 cells to protect our bodies. But after a long time, the bodies will exhausted, so it cannot balance the rate of destruction of CD4 cell. Eventually, the amount of virus cells will be an imbalance, with a high viral load and a low CD4 cell count. This situation causes the immune system to not be able to control HIV. Until now, there's no cure for this virus, but fortunately, there's an invention called antiretroviral or ARV. ARV can slow the progression of HIV by eliminating the elements that make the HIV multiply itself and also prevent HIV from attacking CD4 cell. ARV itself has different types such as etravirine, efavirenz, lamivudine, cidofudine, and nevirapine. Our immune system are responsible for the health of our bodies. They protect our bodies from viruses, bacteria, microorganisms, and the other pathogens by producing antibodies. Meanwhile, autoimmune is a disease in which the immune system are errors in recognizing normal cell in the body. So instead of protecting the normal cell, they will attack our healthy cell. We can say the immune system as a military unit and our body as a country. The military was responsible to protect their country, but if the military attack their own country, the country will be screwed up and many people will suffer. This also happened in our bodies. Autoimmune disease depends on what tissues or organs they attack on. There are many types of autoimmune like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus erythematosus, myasthenia gravis, and many more. There are immune systems that produce antibodies that attach on the links of joints. Then there are malfunctions from the immune system itself that attack synovium or membrane that coats joints on our body. Consequently, synovium will inflame and cause damage to the cartilage and bone around the joints. Then the tendons and ligaments around the joints become weak. There are some medicines for rheumatoid arthritis, such as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, anti-inflammatory drugs, steroids, vitamins, and other supplements. Besides medicine, they can undergo physiotherapy to help restore flexibility from diseased joints or undergo surgery. Lupus or lupus erythematosus is a chronic autoimmune that causes inflammation on several parts at our bodies like skin, joints, kidney, and brain. Normally, our immune system will protect us when we are infected, but people with lupus, their immune system will attack their healthy cell, healthy tissue, and the organs. Some common diseases that may happen: joint pains and stiffness, rash on the skin more sensitive to sunlight, finger pain, and many more. Unfortunately, lupus cannot be healed. Treatments only can help to reduce pain and prevent any other injuries. Treatment will be done in several ways like medicine, adopting a healthy lifestyle, and reducing stress. Myasthenia gravis happens when the immune system attacks the body's tissue. Myasthenia gravis is characterized by weakness of any muscle under your voluntary control. This disease happens when there is a miscommunication between nerves and muscles at the neuromuscular junction. There are two clinical from myasthenia gravis, ocular and generalized myasthenia gravis. In ocular myasthenia gravis, muscle weakness appears on the eyelid and the other muscles that control the movement of the eye, while generalized myasthenia gravis involves ocular muscle, legs, arms, and respiratory muscle. There are a lot of treatments for this disease such as drugs, surgeries, and other procedures. Our antibodies have protection called the immune system. Our B cell or plasma cell have produced a lot of antibodies and each of them are assigned to fight against a very specific target, such as pathogens, viruses, or bacteria. When there are bacteria in our body, our antibodies will attach to the bacteria surface and give signs, and after that, this bacteria will mark as destruction. Our antibodies are effective against viruses or bacteria. But back in 1970, scientists figured out how to mass produce them. So they take only specifically targeted antibody and make a huge number of identical clones. This means our immune system can produce monoclonal antibodies. So monoclonal antibodies is a large protein that they will attach themselves into a very specific at the surface of the cells. Let's take an example like cancer cell. Cancer cell is mediated cell that could grow and grow out of control and could weaken our immune system. But fortunately, our immune system aren't defenseless. Our immune system has antibody called CTL. And CTL can detect the mutated cell and secrete toxic molecule to kill the mutated cells. But when CTL is over-enthusiastic, the immune system starts attacking and destroying our healthy cell. Fortunately, CTL can be turned off by unactivating a molecule called PD-1. PD-1 is a molecule in the CTL. And when CTL is trying to kill cancer cells usually protect themselves with a counter receptor called PDL1. PDL1 could turn off or unactivate the PD-1. If it is like this, the CTL cannot kill the mutated cell. This is when monoclonal antibodies come to help. They begin to reactivate the PD-1 molecule and bind the PDL1. This is why monoclonal antibodies are the most effective antibodies to fight against cancer. The main function of the vaccine is to stimulate our immune system to fight against an antigen, so that if there are the same antigen attack our body again, our immune system will react faster and quicker to fight against that antigens. That's why the vaccine contains the same antigen as the antigen on the surface of the pathogens. Vaccines are linked to help troops to recognize and how to fight their enemies. This works the same as in our bodies. When vaccines goes inside our body, it will turn on the alarm that have the same antigens as the antigens on the pathogen surface. This makes our white blood cell and a certain antibodies to fight against those cells. After that, they will memorize those antigens. So if there are the same antigens go inside to our bodies, our immune system will fight faster and stronger so we don't get sick.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed.